would you agree with me that the United States has sold out to China in a certain sense?
That for sure.
I don't know.
I feel like China has a lot to do with the outcome of this election, if anyone cares about my opinion. But
I do not have an opinion on that. It would depend on what you mean by sold out, but also, it's not a subject that I've researched any at all on.
You should.
Well, send me the research. Send me the links.
Attorney General Bill Barr, he gave his remarks on China at the the Gerald Ford Museum back in like July, I think. And it basically, if I could just summarize, it basically goes on to say that China, obviously they own all manufacturing, and I work in tech. I work for a hardware tech company, and I also own a business that manufactures in China. And China, they are known for stealing intellectual property. And so what the CCP does is, in order to gain access to the Chinese market, which is 1 billion people, you have to pay to play with the CCP. And so you have to basically surrender your IP to the Chinese government in order to sell your products in China. And so what China does is they take American intellectual property, and it's only a matter of time before they are able to come up with a bigger and better and more sophisticated and cheaper solution to the American version of the product. Now, not only that, so you've got Chinese competition on, a manufacturing perspective and a technology perspective. They're becoming far more superior technology-wise than the United States. So not only that, but American tech companies have basically rolled over to China. And Cisco, or who I forget if it was Cisco or one of them, but they built the firewall of China that the CCP uses to spy on their people, to censor them. And they made Apple remove any VPNs from the App Store. They made Apple remove any pro-democracy songs from the Chinese music library. Big tech in America will do anything for China to have access to the Chinese market. And so there's that. You can also find with a quick Google search that China is purchasing private American institutions. They are purchasing property all over America. And there's another big one. Oh, Hollywood. Like 5 years ago, I would say I think Barr said there was 3%. Hollywood was funded by Chinese investments like at a 3% rate. Now, China funds 20% of Hollywood. And there's a lot of rules with censorship that American Hollywood producers have to follow in order to, again, have access to the Chinese market. So China is heavily influencing America, and Biden is heavily engaged with China, and his whole ambitions of getting back involved with the World Health Organization and the Paris Agreement, all of those agreements basically would funnel U.S. American tax revenue into these World Health Organizations and, global organizations around whatever, central globalized power that would favor China. It would basically, China is very ambitious from a global perspective. They're buying land in the Caribbean. They're becoming very aggressive in their global position, and I fully believe that they have a lot to do with our election.
Yeah, so I think I could have a conversation with you about the WHO. I'm not too keen on the trade stuff. I have a feeling that the rhetoric around Chinese companies buying up all this land, Chinese companies doing this, I have a feeling that it's just overblown hyperbole because it's normal for foreign countries to have investment in our country. We want that. It's a way for us to prosper. But if you want to send me links that to sources, I might get curious one day and Google it, and if you were to come back on for a actual debate on it, then I will Google it just to figure out, figure out what's going on. But I'm not gonna like Google it just because, you know, like it's just not something I'm interested in right now. But if you send me links, I will for sure read them.
Yeah, I think, well, so my whole thing is, you know, I don't care about red or blue. I think the entire free world is up against these global elitists and, you know, these deep state, powerful people of the world, Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, like, you know.
You don't think Trump was a deep state powerful person?
What?
You don't think that Trump was a deep state powerful person?
Not at all. I think he was, no, I think he's a businessman who's self-funded and, you know, he's definitely an egomaniac. He is, you know, he's definitely got a personality that does not sit well with everyone. But the thing about Trump and the reason why his supporters are so crazy about him is because he's basically exposing the corruption of the deep state. Like that's what he loves. That's why they hate him. That's why the media absolutely cannot stand him. That's why they're trying to get rid of him like as quickly as possible, because he has no problem calling people out, firing people. He can't be bought and sold. That's kind of like the whole name of the game with Trump. And it's funny that like the media will go so far as to criticize him for these historic peace agreements in the Middle East. Like he had no new wars. He made America energy independent.
Hold on. This is new to me. Which peace agreement has he signed in the Middle East?
He signed several historic peace treaties with the UAE and, you know, a few other Middle Eastern countries.
Conservative white lady, do you mind if I chime in right now?
Oh yeah, if you have details, please do.
It depends. If you consider Sudan to be a part of the Middle East, technically it's part of Africa, but he signed a peace agreement between Israel and Sudan to try. How do I say this? To have financial ties together. He did with Bahrain and the UAE. The UAE had financial ties to Israel beforehand, but they cemented it. Saudi Arabia might be on the rise. He signed a peace agreement between, I want to say, Kosovo and not Yugoslavia, because that's not that country's destroyed. Serbia, I believe, Kosovo and Serbia. Now, when it comes to Trump, I will admit he has done shitty stuff regarding foreign policy. His assassination of the Iranian general, which was justified in my opinion, but it was a shitty thing to do regarding foreign policy. If you want to compare him to the last two presidents, i.e. Obama and George Walker Bush, he hasn't started any new wars. Obama started... he tag teamed with NATO and went to Libya. George W. Bush, in my opinion, committed very bad war crimes. Not as bad as the Nazis or the Japanese, but very bad war crimes, in my opinion, especially with his war on terror. Would you agree or disagree with what I've stated, a liberal cluck?
I think that, first of all, here's what one of the biggest foreign policy fuck-ups, and you might have mentioned it, you might have mentioned it, that Trump did was leaving the Iran deal. That was a historic deal that was put us closer to normalization in Iran that we have been in decades. So leaving that was a huge fuck-up. And then killing Soleimani, while it ended up not being like detrimental, he was playing with fire, and the American people and the Iranian people and the Iraqi people could have got burned really bad had that not worked out, had Iran not like had level heads about that. He also sullied our relationship with Iraq with that move, which was a decades-long process to try and get good relations with Iraq. He completely threw that all away with that move. As for these peace deals, obviously I spend a lot of time on left-wing media, So I don't really, I haven't heard about these, but I'm definitely curious. So this is something that I am going to, on my own free time, look up and find out about, because this is, like I said in my Reddit, part of this is so that I can challenge my viewpoints. And yeah, this is something that I'm definitely curious about.
Well, when it comes to the assassination of the Iranian general, I think it was a fuck up, but I don't think it would have. Pardon my French if I'm cursing too much.
Nah, you're fine.
But I think. Do you know who Osama bin Laden is? I'm assuming you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Obama assassinated Osama bin Laden, there was a chance, the same with the Iranian general, that America could have been attacked in revenge, I guess you could say. So Osama bin Laden would have been from the Taliban, with the Iranian general obviously been from the Iranian government. But I think that assassinations of, how do I say this, leaders or people who are big influence from another country is very common. I mean, the United States under, John F. Kennedy, attempted to kill Fidel Castro multiple times. I mean, we attempted to, God. I mean, well, actually, John F. Kennedy is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. But Trump killing an Iranian general was not wasn't the closest we've gone to war with another country. We've backed up coups in Iran with Dwight D. Eisenhower, which led to a massive genocidal government until 1979.
So I'm not interested in going way back, just because it's kind of irrelevant to Trump right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that, in my opinion, the killing of the leader of a Taliban that's not even like a recognized country is way different than killing what is essentially vice president of a entire country. So I mean, I just think that comparison is kind of not apples to apples.
Yeah, I get that, but we did attempt to kill Hitler multiple times during the Second World War, and he was the leader of Germany.
Weren't we also at war with Hitler?
Well, yeah, technically we were, but typically you don't try and assassinate even if hypothetically we did kill Hitler, a person like Himmler or Goebbels probably would have stepped up and became leader.
Oh yeah, we know that now. We know that killing the leaders it just leaves a power vacuum that for somebody else. We may not have known that back then. I don't know my World War II history. But anyways, yeah, I will definitely look up the Trump's effort in the Middle East, because now I'm interested.
Yeah.